Welcome to the Panic Button, everyone. I'm Nina.
I am Jessie.
So there is a story going viral about Nicki Minaj and Gavin Newsom, and the story reads as such.
Nicki Minaj. Over the weekend, Nicki Minaj posted that no normal adult campaigns on seeing trans kids, pushing instead for healthy, safe, happy children overall. She labeled Newsom, a career politician, turned against her, saying like he turned against her.
Yeah.
Petras, who transitioned as a child, countered that trans kids are healthy amid clashing views on treatments like puberty blockers, backed by some medical groups for mental health benefits, but questioned by studies citing risks such as bone density loss, infertility, and regret. This exchange reflects deeply on U.S. divides, with over 25 states restricting such care for minors due to limited long-term evidence. I said the words a little wrong, but I fixed it, so it sounded right.
Yes. Yes. So the clip in question that she was responding to, as far as I have seen online, is this clip of him, the 24-second clip.
We didn't get into trans sports. That's an issue no one wants to hear about because 80% of the people listening disagree with my position on this. But it comes from my heart, not just my head. It wasn't a political evolution. It was
position being that
I don't think it's I want to see trans kids. I have a trans godson. There's no governor that's signed more pro-trans legislation than I have, and no one has been a stronger advocate for the LGBTQ community. So we didn't get into trans sports.
Yeah, right. He wants to see trans children.
Is that what he said?
That's actually verbatim what he said.
I think it's I want to see trans kids.
Damn.
See?
Yeah, he said that. No, I just didn't know because I was listening and I didn't know if that was exactly what he said, but that is exactly what he said. I don't think that he's vocalizing the point he's trying to make. I think what he's doing right now is for publicity. Obviously, he's saying that so people aren't mad.
His side isn't mad, yeah.
Against what he said. However, I think he does agree that it's not fair to see trans women in women's sports, because he's obviously shifted on that political topic.
He definitely did. Let me read some of Nicki Minaj's tweets against Gavin Newsom, because she did a slew of them. It wasn't just one or two. There was a lot. Oh, Gavy Poo. It only gets worse from here for you, buddy. It's the end of the road for you, my love. Get on the nearest jet ski and let that beautiful hair blow in the wind. It will make you happier than this race that you will not win. Enjoy life. Peace. And she's talking about the presidential race.
Okay.
And then she says, another one. Gavin is the cute boy who got everything handed to him because of how cute and sexy and hot and smoking he was. Oh, look at him. Sitting there in that suit with the sneakers on, he thinks he's Tom Cruise. Only difference is his next mission is impossible. He should get another leading role, referring also to the presidential run. Here's another one. Wanting to see trans kids, Newsom?
That's more recent.
Gruesome. Haha. Fire victims? Nah. Hollywood? Nah. Swatting calls to homes with innocent children? Nah. Gavin wants one thing. Trans kids, Newsom. This one made me laugh really loud. LMFAO. Got to admit, I'm funny. There's more. Here's another one. Career politician at the brink of his moment realigns to become nothing more than a Nicki Minaj anti-oof. So now he's the guy running on wanting to see trans kids and willing to lower himself to becoming just another female rapper to get obliterated by Nicki Minaj.
So did he say something against Nicki Minaj?
She's just against him because of that trans kid thing.
But did he say something against Nicki Minaj?
I haven't seen anything yet, but if y'all have seen anything, put it in the comments below.
It sounds like he did, and that's why she's mad. At least recently.
It's possible, but people on, like Hollywood celebrities on Instagram and such, they're unfollowing her. And then Kim Petras said something about trans kids are healthy because Kim Petras, who is a man who thinks he's a woman, transitioned when he was a child. But we'll get into that in a second. There's one more, and she says this. Imagine being the guy running on wanting to see trans kids. Haha, not even a trans adult would run on that. That's when Kim Petras chimed in. Normal adults wake up and think they want to see healthy, safe, happy kids. Not Gav, the Gav-nots. Gav out. Send in the next guy. I'm bored.
And that was 2 days ago.
That was 2 days ago. And people are also getting on her butt because she's saying, how can you be for safe and healthy kids when you're married to a guy who is on the sex offender registry for attempted R-wording a teenager while he was a teenager. So I get the point. with that. It's not a good look, but the point is still the point, regardless of who it's coming from.
A broken clock is still right twice a day.
Yeah, exactly.
The point isn't what she's doing in her life. The point is how she feels about children. And I don't know much about the situation with her husband, so I guess I can't comment too much on that. We've had this conversation.
Yeah.
If he has been tried and proved guilty,
He was.
tried or proved innocent, and he served his time, what are we as a society to do if we've agreed that that's how you are punished? You know what I mean? Like, he's done his punishment.
Yeah.
So also, this isn't his opinion. This is her opinion. Now, we can question her other opinions, like being with him. However, we can agree with this opinion and not everything she's doing. Just like we don't agree with everything Trump does.
Right. So when Kim Petras says trans kids are healthy, by the way, that's actually false because they're not healthy. Because if you're transitioning as a child, there's a whole slew of health issues that you're going to have, osteoporosis being one of them. You're not going to be a normal, healthy adult because you've injected yourself with all these hormones at such a young age. Then now not only do you rely on them, but you have severe health issues and also risks that come with that for the rest of your life. So it's not healthy. You might say mentally healthy, but even then, you've seen a lot of people, children who have transitioned, who are definitely not mentally well. So it's not accurate. I don't think any kids should be transitioning. If kids are allowed to transition, then they should be allowed to smoke, drink, drive, vote, get tattoos.
Well, at the end of
all
the
that.
day, children make decisions based on what they're feeling in the moment.
Yeah.
Kids don't have a
Foresight?
thought process like an adult would. They're not thinking about the consequences long term because they don't know what long term means. They don't have an idea of what 10 years from now feels like because they're 16 and they don't remember when they were 6. If they do, it's bits and pieces. Kids don't understand longevity. Kids don't understand consequences. That's why they have rules and punishments, because you're teaching them consequences. To allow a child to make such an altering decision to their body, please, for the love of God, look at Jazz Jennings. I have zero hate. I want to point that out right now. I have zero hate, malice, or negative emotions for Jazz Jennings themselves, because I feel like that poor individual has been put in a game by life that they cannot win with the mother they have and the situation they have. And I feel very bad for the kids in those situations, especially Jazz Jennings. Take a look at that and tell me that all trans kids are healthy. I'm going to go on further to say that the surgeries that they do when you are deciding to switch your gender, that are supposed to be held off until you are 18 or older, those surgeries that they're prepping these kids for, they tell them it's going to fix everything, but it is not the same thing. They may look like the organs we are trying to reproduce, but oh my God, they do not function the same way. If you switch from female to male, you risk losing time off your life, you lose bone density, and you have to complete the bottom surgery, you have to cut off a large chunk of your arm, which risks infection on the site, plus infection of the new created organ. And you can have hair growth in your urethra, which is very uncomfortable, I'm sure. And uncomfortable doesn't even begin to talk about that, I'm sure.
Then you have infections.
The infections are gnarly. I've seen people get their breasts removed and they've had gnarly infections from it. I've seen people go like necrotic from it. Is that the right word?
Yeah.
Thank you. It's unfortunate. Plus, there are full-grown adults who make those decisions and regret them, and there's still no way to go back. And if adults are making the decision with education, then maybe we should not let uninformed, uneducated people make that decision. Maybe we should wait until they're older.
Yeah, because like you said, if adults are regretting it and they have the forethought and the foresight to make these decisions and they're regretting it, then children are definitely going to regret it. But there's no long-term studies to really prove that it helps. There's no long-term studies to really give informed consent to a child or a parent about how this is actually going to go. This is all just rainbows and butterflies coming from progressives, that this is all going to work out. But it's not. I mean, we can't even agree.
I hope it does for the kids that have gone through it. And I don't say that because I want the procedure to work necessarily.
I just don't want them harmed.
want them to be so. If it was just as easy as, oh, we're going to do this and you genuinely have a penis or you genuinely have a vagina, I wouldn't feel that way. But it's not true. What they're feeding you is a pipe dream snake oil. It's not real, and it comes with more negatives than good unless you severely need it. You shouldn't have it done, and you shouldn't have it done until you're at least 18 years old.
And there's a lot of things that even people on the progressive side can't even agree on.
Hey,
You know what I mean?
I'm so sorry. Just I wanted to make this point real quick. At 17, personal story, sorry. At 17, my mother signed me up for gastric bypass surgery. I legally could not have the surgery until I was 18. I moved out of my house very soon before it, but I had it scheduled for after my 18th birthday. They can get you prepped, they can get you ready, but they cannot cut you until you are 18 for a surgery that hypothetically would have made me healthier, skinnier, more fit, whatever you want to call it. And even that I couldn't have until I was 18 years old. Why then can we change genital structures and give hormones to children if I can't even get my stomach cut open at 17? That's all I had to say.
It's a fair question. It's a fair question. But here's another thing I was thinking about today. When they say with the trans kid thing, their argument is, would you rather have a dead daughter than an alive son? That's saying that there's a mental health issue there, right? So the trans thing is a mental health issue. But then they'll also say out of the other side of their mouth that trans isn't a mental health issue, while simultaneously pushing for legislation to where taxpayers pay for these non-mental health surgeries. So if it's not mental health for adults who want to be trans, then it's nothing more than a fetish. And I don't think taxpayers should be paying for fetish surgeries. And also, if it's not mental health and it's just a fetish, that should be nowhere near children. So another reason why people have a big problem with it is because they can't even make up their own mind on what it is. And until they do, no one's going to be able to understand, like, that it's just a cacophony of baloney. Like if you're gonna say it's a mental health issue and the child needs it because it's a mental health issue, then you can't be also saying that it's not a mental health issue, because no one's going to take anybody seriously who's talking about this at all, whether it's from the adult side or whether it's from the child side.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, I've talked to quite a few people who are liberal and quite a few people who are conservative. And you know, the one thing that I haven't heard is that people don't think that these people are mentally unwell. Especially, it's not the people who are trans even. It's the people who are trans identity. Who are, I'm cat self, I am dog self, I am it themselves, whatever. People can understand the confusion. I want to go by they them because I'm unsure of which one I align with more. People are really willing to hear that because it makes sense to them. I don't know if I feel more like a girl or a boy. You know what? We've all had that experience. Not that we felt more like a girl or a boy, but we felt masculine, we felt feminine. We've always felt those feelings. So yeah, they, them, I can understand being like, I'm not sure. But when you start saying, I'm a toaster, I'm a cat, I'm a dog, we need to question your grasp of reality.
If you're a biological female and you're thinking that you're a male or you don't know, there's obviously something wrong with you mentally. Because it's not just like an identity clothing thing.
No, but in this world, with the way it's been marketed, you can't tell me that it's not something you can't expect people to do.
It's been normalized, not by everybody.
No, but
by a certain faction who accepts it, and a lot of other people don't.
My point with this isn't that it's okay. My point with this is that you lose even liberals when you start pushing beyond. Mm-hmm. Even the most open-hearted liberals can understand. Like, they can understand. Just like I'm sure you've had moments you've been like, "Man, I kind of wish I was a guy," or "I feel really masculine," versus "I feel really feminine." Everyone's had that moment in life. Maybe not every day, but like one moment when you felt more masculine, one moment when you felt more feminine. And if you're someone who's a more feminine man or a more masculine woman, I can see you questioning, "Oh, do I belong? Do I belong?" That's always the question here. Do I belong? The answer is yes, because you were born and you were made like that. But people stop caring when you push too far, and they keep pushing too far.
Then they always will.
And even the people who are on your side don't understand why you push that far. And I'd go as far to say that, especially with the they, them, it,
Zeezer,
fairy, toaster, toasted, bug self. Mm-hmm. That's where you lose even the people who are on your side. Because I'm sorry, if you're talking with anyone, and I was just actually talking with a liberal about this today, and they were totally like, I understand the they, them, but I do not understand the object, the objectifying people.
Yeah.
So you lose liberals, you lose conservatives. If you were just like, hey, some of us are confused, then I think people would be more giving.
But you ever notice how not only are the people who are saying this stuff, like I believe in they, them, are all, they're always mentally unwell to some degree, but also they never just stop at it's an identity. It's always they're for trans kids, right? It's never just stopping at its identity. It's kids should be able to transition and having surgeries and all this other stuff.
I want to see more of them.
And that's where their ideology and reality and their other ideology collides with one another. It makes no sense. Because you think it's a gender identity thing and it's not a mental health issue, and yet you're pushing for kids to transition saying it's a mental health issue. So which is it? They don't even know. So if they don't know, how can we trust that what they're saying is factually correct or safe? It ain't. It ain't safe. And we have trans people who are saying it's a mental illness, and we have other trans people who are saying it's an identity, and other trans people who are saying it's a fetish. What is it? And if you don't know, you shouldn't be pushing for kids to transition because it doesn't make any sense, and it's very dangerous and very unsafe.
It's scary.
No one's on the same page.
It's scary that because kids are so easily influenced. And it's really easy to just influence kids to be. You know, it's interesting. I mean, I don't know for a fact that this woman is super liberal. I know that the person I was talking with is at least slightly liberal. And it was interesting to me that the first thing that they brought up was gay parents being an issue too. Parents, not just gay parents, but parents who push so hard for gay.
What do you mean push so hard for gay?
Like they're so high up the LGBT asshole that they want their kids to be gay.
No, I think that's weird. You shouldn't be wanting your kids to be anything but happy and healthy.
She said it's for attention. And so the liberals that aren't as vocal, they see it. They see it. I know I wouldn't want to say very. I know an older man who has worked very hard for liberal politics. I do. In my personal life, I do. And he is currently working on a bill to help with people who don't want their babies so that they can leave them in New York State because apparently New York State doesn't have anything like this. You can leave them at fire halls and stuff like that. Apparently that hasn't been a thing in New York State. And as much as I don't think that you should just be able to abandon your baby, I think it's a better alternative to the people who have been unaliving
dumpsters and stuff. Yeah.
Unaliving or hurting these poor, literally innocent people and innocent bodies that you decided to bring into this world and then decided to take out. I'd rather see fire halls and police stations take babies at that point. But he is diehard liberal. And he calls it out. He does. I've seen him tell people if that person wants to be viewed as a man who's a woman, then they got to start acting like a man. My point with that isn't to tell personal stories to the death. My point with that is that even the liberals who live and die by liberal see it and say something and make it known because it's not normal. That's your sign. That's really your sign. When it's the one thing both parties can agree upon, that's your sign.
And that's where we're going to end it for today, everybody. Like and subscribe. Join our...
Oh, I didn't finish.
Oh, well, like and subscribe anyway.
Like and subscribe.
Comment below. Ring the bell. Hit the bell. Click the bell. Do it.
Find my bell.
We'll see you in the next one, everybody.
It should be here-ish.
No, it'd be here-ish.
Click my bell.
See you in the next one. Bye.
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 Cry